Welcome, everyone, to the Pee Pee Poo Poo podcast.
Jesus Christ.
See, this is why I keep saying I can't tell if it's a bit or not.
I mean, it is because of the way that he laughs. Like, that's not his normal laugh. That's his, I'm doing a bit laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's no name for it. It's just going to go up on the channel. It'll just be called Podcast Episode 1. The Shadowlands.
Okay, we'll just say, like, this is... Then introduce us.
Okay,
You know, that'll be
introduce.
introduce.
So, first off, we have me. I go by the Dual Logs. I make Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos. These other two here are more World of Warcraft people. We'll go with Fel Plague first. Introduce yourself and what you do for a living.
I'm Fel Plague. I do a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff for the videos on the WoW channel. You know, researching, writing, editing, all that kind of stuff. And, yeah. That's what I do, for a living at least.
Oh, so you work on a World of Warcraft channel. That sounds exciting.
Yes, I wonder what channel that is. I wonder.
Is it any chance related to the Azeroth Weather channel?
No, not at all. It is the Hero Red X channel.
Oh, I hear that's a terrible name. Selty,
Yeah, it is.
Yep, that's my name.
is your name any chance based off of a character from Durarara?
It is not at all. It's spelled with an S, not a C, I'm pretty sure. And it's spelled with like a C or something.
Would you by
I
any
have
chance
watched that show.
be a fan of Dualahans?
What?
Would you by any chance be
Oh,
a fan of
no.
Dualhands?
No.
Have you ever watched Durarara?
Yes, a long time ago. Then I stopped because it became cringy and weird.
It's so good though.
I didn't wanna. I couldn't.
Wow, that's weird. Just considering your name is based off of that anime.
It's not. It's a character name that I came up where it was like Cell for like Celendis, and then Rin like the name of the king in World of Warcraft.
Oh.
Ah.
So tell me about
Oh, yeah,
yourself,
'cause Cell
Selty.
Rin.
What is it that you
I-
do for a living?
I am also a video editor for the man who's doing most of the presenting here. I work on the D&D channel, not on the World of Warcraft or the Yu-Gi-Oh channel, which is a new channel he started up. It's called the D&D Logs with an ampersand.
Yeah. Did you finish the video yet?
No. The Shadowlands came out and I had to play a
I
lot.
have another video for you. It's just
I know, but look, I'm working on it after I finish all my weeklies today.
People are asking about it. They send me messages. They're like, "Did you
I
abandon
promise
the channel?"
you, it will be out soon. The channel has not been abandoned. I still want to make money.
Good, because the channel's doing well for a new channel.
It's true.
All it needs is consistent uploads.
Yep. Which we can get started on later this week.
Yes. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, we can go on to talking about the Shadowlands. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. So I assume both of you guys are fans of World of Warcraft?
Yeah. That's why I'm here, I think.
Okay, so what did you do for the launch of Shadowlands?
So for the launch, I'm on Area 52, which is one of the like big US servers, and it was so laggy that I was unable to get in for the first hour and a half. And then after that first hour and a half I got in, I played for like 2 hours. I got like to level 52, so I was like chapter 3 in Bastion. And then I said, I can't do it, the lag is too bad, and I logged off and went to bed.
Well, I had no lag when I played.
Yeah, we could guys play on like better servers.
Yeah.
You also played like a day and a half later.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Fel Plague?
So I went hardcore prep with a bunch of my guildies, and I set up a document for guild teams to do leveling groups because we were going to be leveling more mode. Because unlike you guys, I'm alliance, so I get the plus 30% EXP bonus,
Whoa.
which allows you to just do the campaign quests where normally you have to do rares and side quests and stuff. We were able to just do campaign to go through. So we started up some groups, and although it went really well. We got a group of 5 people together, me and some guildies, and right away we had issues with one of our people not having tested anything. They had run into some bugs, and they also weren't. They didn't know the quests.
They weren't on the beta.
Well, I even made videos for my guild actually
Wow.
to watch,
Bunch
so then
of
they could watch like
plebeians.
the general path. It was up to them, but I told them that the maw was very important, and I'm not watching it. Whatever. What else can you do?
You should tell them to get Zygor.
Yeah, we actually used Azeroth Autopilot, which was pretty nice.
Zygor's better. They have an option
Yeah,
to just
Zygor
do
is
main
nice,
quests.
but it does cost money though.
It's only like $10 a month. Like,
Wow, are you sponsored by Zygor?
they did sponsor me once. They gave me like $20 to
wow.
put 2 links into 2 of my videos. That was it.
Okay.
That's how I found out about them in the first place.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So actually, one of them is a fan of ours, Ash. She's a fan of ours. I didn't know until I randomly ran into her in guild chat one day, and she noticed me. And so she was with us, and she actually ran into a game-breaking bug, which just stopped her from continuing the campaign, which was horrible because then she just ended up falling behind for a few hours. And then my power went out twice, and I was gone for 10 minutes. So then
It's
I
that
fell way
third world
behind.
internet.
Yeah, and I had to go out. Or my power went out first, twice, and then and then later on the internet went out for about 10 minutes. And at that point, I was extremely frustrated. I still got to max level within 7.5 hours, which is okay, not great, but I was like 10th. I think 7th on the server to get max level. But I got to max level and did the rest of my stuff. Stayed up for like 32 hours and then had a nice long rest, and I felt great.
32 hours?
I had slept a long night before.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey,
You play
launch is one of those exciting moments where you get in the feel of it, and it feels like a server like event kind of thing.
If only.
Oh yeah, I guess Moonguard doesn't quite have the server issues you guys have.
You want to know what I did on launch?
What did you do on launch? The dual logs?
So first I was making a YouTube video when launch happened, so I missed that. And then after I finished it, I went on the game and I played for a couple hours, and then I went back to work. And then I went to bed at an appropriate normal time.
Didn't you only get level 60 like yesterday, almost a week
I
after
hit
the launch?
60 on Sunday, I think.
So 6 days after the launch.
So the thing is, like, when I was playing, I needed to get footage of all the zones, because for Legion and BFA, I decided not to get footage because I wanted to just enjoy the launch, and I've regretted both of those decisions because there's so much footage I could have had. So for this one, I was like, I'm going to 100% all the zones and get footage of all of the quests, so I don't have to do it later. And I did that for the first 3 zones, and then I got burned out by the last one. I just did all the story quests instead.
Yeah.
But Revendreth's the best zone.
And I ended up picking Revendreth, so
was
that
pretty-
was really dumb.
I wonder if it's because of the having to record everything. Maybe that.
Like, Revendreth
that a
was,
little bit.
I really liked the story. Alright, that one was...
Yeah,
there's-
Revendreth is really
the story won me over.
One of the other problems I had, like, the next day when I got back was that the final cinematic from Revendreth, like, after you finish all the quests, there's, like, a cinematic at the end that just didn't play for me. So I had to then go back and
Oh.
I just went on YouTube and looked it up.
You didn't see the part where, like, destroy that
Uh,
entire point of the zone?
Yep, nope, not at all.
Oh, so cool. He's such a good villain.
Funny you say that because oh yeah, Denathrius is going to be an awesome fight. I love how so many people, without knowing the context of the character, complained about his sword just floating on his back in the cinematics that we were shown like beforehand, without knowing that the whole thing is the sword floats on his back because it's a sentient sword and it just floats there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So seeing a lot of people be like, "Oh my god, the sword's sentient," was so great.
I love the
that.
part...
I didn't. Oh, you can go ahead.
Like I said, I love the part where the prince is running up to him with their valiant last stand, and he just kind of sighs and let the sword kick his ass. And he goes, "That was it? That was your valiant last stand?" What a joke.
Yeah,
He's so great.
yeah, I can't wait.
I didn't get that the sword was sentient at like the beginning with the first couple cinematics. I'm like, oh, it's so wrong. It's gross. Ew. And then like when you finally see it just like flying away, kind of like if you've seen like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Yondu with his like little arrow thing.
Oh yeah, the
Like that's
arrow.
kind of how his sword is, and it's so badass. It's so
It's so
cool.
cool.
I love it.
The character himself was so good.
It was quite fun.
I love even towards the end, he was still like trying to educate the masses. He didn't get mad. He was just like, ugh, I guess I need to educate you further. Rather than, ugh, you foiled my plans. Evil mustache twirl.
Yeah, he didn't go full. He didn't go full Saturday night villain or Saturday morning kind of villain kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
he was still
he
like
stayed on his point.
He was basically like, dealing with problem children rather than people who are actually going to damage his plans. I loved it.
He's the opposite of Sylvanas, is what I would say. Sylvanas, where like something slightly goes wrong and she freaks out, like the horde is nothing.
Well, that
like,
was
you just got hit
bullshit.
in the eye, and you're gonna say like,
That was just Blizzard. They sometimes, with their cinematics, they'll have them do one-liners because they know people won't get it unless they spell it out.
yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, the whole sword, the floating sword thing, like they made it very obvious, like the sword floating way further than what normal. Because of course you see normal cinematics, the sword still floats in the back, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
But it was very obviously floating out, so a lot of people latched onto it, and then it's, oh my god, the sword is sentient.
Yeah,
Does the sword
you don't
talk to you?
get it until you like see it move, and then
Yeah, the sword talks to you. The sword talks to you a lot. And I've actually done the raid testing, and it's hilarious how much it talks to you the entire fight. The sword's just fucking making fun of you.
Oh, I
Just
love it.
constantly.
I gotta watch some of that
Yeah,
footage.
and I think there was a data mined pet that comes from being the boss. You can get the sword as a pet, I think.
Good.
It was something that I remember being spoken to about a long time ago. But yeah, during the fight, he just uses the sword constantly. Like, he fights you with his hands pretty much and magic, but the sword's just flying around
How
constantly.
are you supposed
like,
to
in
beat him,
theory-
though? Isn't he supposed to be, like, on the same tier as a loon?
No. So these guys are the Eternal Ones. Their power is more so like the Lich King. The Lich King's power was a lot in his army. He himself is powerful, of course, but a lot of his might is in how he works. Like, you would say, I'm sure you would say, like, I don't know. Have you ever played? You've played Diablo. Deckard Cain. You'd say he's powerful. He's
No.
a frail old man. His power comes in his knowledge.
No, I wouldn't say
No,
he's
look at him in
powerful.
Hots. You played Hots.
I play hot. Yeah, he's weak in hots too.
A good point.
but he's so
It's
old
a
man.
it's a bad example, but their power comes in what they do, not in how they can fight. Even though himself is quite powerful.
I mean,
They're
pretty,
brain power people.
he's pretty strong though.
I mean,
I
yeah,
saw
he has
him
a
kick the
Oh
ass
yeah,
of
he's
that,
definitely
sword.
in Final
that
Boss.
prince without even touching him.
Yeah, which I don't understand. Why didn't the prince do the same thing? Because his weapon is also sentient. I guess maybe he doesn't. have
Because he's
quite
not
the
as strong as
power
an
that,
eternal one.
True.
Because they're supposed to be like on the same tier of power as a loon.
Well,
Yeah.
do we
So
know
funnily
that for a
enough, if you
fact
go
that
to
it's like a loon?
No.
We don't. It's either a loon or it's ENR. It's one of those two.
We're
pretty
referring
certain
to the Winter Queen
The cinematic with
referencing her
Ysera.
sister in Ysera.
Yes. The whole point is the
Yeah.
Winter Queen reference. It was her sister who had Ysera as a pet, which could be either a loon or ENR, and either of those puts them on a really high power scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like either
Most
or,
likely.
they're going to be strong as hell
Most
with their
likely-
siblings.
Yeah.
Because both E-Loon or ENR both fit the description. They're both powerful. They could both totally create someone like Ysera as a pet. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It's more likely a loon. It's more likely a loon because we had the whole thing. Like, a loon is very much close to Ysera, and especially with the whole how Ysera died and she was made a constellation by a loon.
Yeah, I think
It
a loon is
kind of
like
hints at a loon,
a
but
D&D
again, it
god.
could be.
Where she's out
I mean,
there
there's
farming
also-
followers.
Isn't there a line from like the devs that they were talking about? Like, there's a Shadowlands like area for the Titans or whatever. Like, the Eternal Ones transcend
They
the
said
Titans.
they go to a different realm. They go to their own realm. So sort of like how the demons go to the Twisting Nether and the elementals got made their own by the elemental planes. Apparently,
Yeah.
the Titans have their own, which who knows? We may go to in the Shadowlands. That'd be interesting to
Ooh.
do.
But my point is more that like, if the Eternal Ones transcend the Titans, then it's probably more likely that it would be a loon than ANR if they're like sisters, you know.
Yeah. It could be either or.
I doubt the Eternal Ones transcend the Titans. They're probably more so they are Titans, but instead of being created in planets, they are created in dead realms, is what I would think. But that's
That'd
all
be pretty
subject
spooky.
to, Blizzard making up lore.
Interesting. Anyways, on to the next topic. What covenant did you choose and why?
You can go first, Phil. Play.
All right, so I've been with them. So I've been like on their side since they first got introduced. I obviously chose Maldraxxus. First of all, I love their aesthetic, spooky bones forever, spook month and all that.
Yeah.
I love their armor. I love all of their armor. I don't like in the cloth one they get this weird chin thing, which you get in liches.
Oh no, that's so cool though.
I like it, but I feel like it would have been better on males. On females, it looks a little bit odd.
That's true.
Like having a goatee on a female, it's a little bit weird. But I love the armor set. It's really nice. I do kind of wish there was a robe version, and I do kind of wish they did fix it. So something to bring up, when they added backpacks in BFA for females, it's super duper tiny. Like it looks like almost like a fanny pack on their back.
Oh, really?
However, it was super tiny. I could show some screenshots later or whatever, but it was so small. It was, I think, 4 times smaller than on males.
Yeah, that thing's really big and bulky on my Zandalari troll.
Yeah. On females, they were 4 times smaller. They were lower. They were smaller than your head. It was pathetic.
Ooh, I like that.
So on beta,
like
the wings, like on beta, you couldn't even see the wings. They were hidden behind your back and shoulders. Even if you weren't wearing anything, you couldn't see them. And luckily later in beta, they changed that. So I'm super happy because like even now, I got a pair of bone wings off of a rare, and I'm wearing them even though they don't match my transmog because it just all looks so good. I love the claw set with the like lich. The leather set, even though it's like a weird ghoul thing, is great. The mail set, I mean, it's a mail set. What can you do? And the plate set, it's so good. And then just the lore. I love the lore. I love the zone. The lore of like these warriors who never give up and their willpower just refuses to die. Like they're the only realm of death that raises people who have died again and again and again through the abominations. So unlike the other realms where when somebody dies in their realm, they're gone forever. In Maldraxxus, they just lose their form and then can be put into abominations to fight again and again and again.
Ooh.
What you're saying is that they're never going to give you up.
Never going to let you down.
Is that why they're evil?
Desert you.
So and a few of them went evil, but that's mostly because some mysterious stranger has broken the balance of the covenant.
Like 2/5 of them.
Yeah.
Technically 3/5.
3/5 of them.
Yeah.
I can't believe the only nice new character you meet ended up being a bad guy.
Yeah, it is quite funny. Well, he didn't end up being a bad guy. He got killed. It was funny that they hype up the Eternal Ones, and then they don't even have the Eternal One for the Maldraxxus.
Maldraxxus doesn't have one at all.
So they have. So instead, they hype up Margrave Crexus, and then they kill him off in the questing.
Isn't he literally like on the loading screen too?
Yeah, they Crexus. Yeah, because he's basically so the Eternal Ones are the Archon, Winter Queen, Denathrius, and then the Arbiter, and of course also Taylor was one, and then the Primus
forges your stuff. The Primus.
Yeah, the Primus. But when you arrive, he's missing. So instead, you're sort of introduced to Crexus, who's a Margrave, and he's even on the loading screen with all the other Eternals, which is weird because he's nowhere near their power. And then he dies during the questing experience. So then you're like, okay, all right.
I was so sad to learn that he was the betrayer. I was like, wait, I recognize that name. No, it couldn't be him. He's so nice. He was helping me out the whole time. He's the one who sent me to the mall. Why would he do that if he was the betrayer?
He sent you there so he could carry out his nefarious plans while you were indisposed.
But that's dumb.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just that you're so powerful that he needed you out of the way so that, like, they wouldn't have to worry about you when they were doing the deed.
And so, Selty, what did you choose?
Oh, I chose Venthyr. Like, I was really worried because, like, I do care about performance, and for the longest time, I play a Blood Death Knight, and it seemed like the Night Fae were going to be the best, and I didn't want to be, like, a fairy DK. I saw a great meme where it was The Rock in the that movie where he's like plays the hockey player that becomes a tooth fairy, and it was just like
Oh, yeah,
that, but then with like a rune blade and like a helmet on. I think it was like the Lich King's helmet. It's like when you choose Night Fae as a Death Knight.
Oh yeah.
And I was really glad that I didn't have to do that, and that like the good options became Venthyr and Kyrian, because I really wanted to be Venthyr anyway, because as a Blood Death Knight you get the Swarming Mists ability, which is just a bunch more red and black and like this spooky aura thing.
That does sound
And so
cool.
yeah, I got to be with my vampy boys.
Ugh. I had to pick Venthyr.
Why did you have to pick that theory?
I wanted to be Ardenwald the whole time, and then when I quested the zone and I get
Yeah,
the
Ori
ability,
in the-
it's so bad. Like, it's the lamest ability ever.
This is for which
Disc
class?
or Shadow too. Like, you use the ability and it summons like 3 fairies, and the fairies follow like 3 of your abilities. One of them is like your dot that you put on someone, and the fairy will go over to that one target who has your dot on it. And every time you deal direct damage, you get 0.5% of your mana back, which isn't good. And it's only direct damage, so it's not even really a lot of mana back. And the other one is when you use Shadow or when you shield someone, it reduces their damage by 10%, which is good, but like not noticeably good. And the other one is when you cast a heal on someone, it reduces the cooldown of their major ability by 100% for like the duration, which is good for
remember that.
them, but like I don't care about reducing other people's cooldowns.
It doesn't help me.
That's why you're a bad heal.
It doesn't help me, and like it doesn't help me either if I use it on myself. Like the cooldown reduces, like I don't want to reduce its cooldown. I need it to line up with my other cooldowns. So if it has a shorter cooldown, then that's kind of irrelevant because I need to save it with my other cooldowns anyway. So like there's no point in using it. Like a 10% reduction to damage, which moves every time I cast Powered Shield, which I use all the goddamn time, so it's always moving. So I can't even like have it on the tank, and 10% isn't that big a deal either. It's super lame. And then getting a tiny bit of mana back every 2 minutes, that's not worth it either. It's just super underwhelming, and it also doesn't perform anywhere near as good as the other ones. So I was like, okay, so I can't go to that one because the abilities suck so much. Might as well pick Venthyr because I wanted movement.
How does their cloth set look? I haven't checked. I've only checked their badass plate set.
It's all right. All the sets kind of suck.
Something to mention: the cloth set for Venthyr is actually very similar to the Hunger Helm that used to sell, or that Helm of Endless Hunger that used to be sold in the store. Seems to be, maybe they had some ideas off of that.
The what?
You have to look at the Helmet of Endless Hunger that used to sell in the store. The one with the red eyes.
Oh yeah,
and
it does look just like that. I remember I saw that and I was like, oh, I can just use my helmet from the store over that one because it looks cooler. Because I use that one all the time.
It was quite.
I'm trying to find and put together a set that uses the red store helmet, because I want a set that goes well with Blanchy when I get
Oh yeah,
her.
I need to get Blanchy. That seems like it'd be a good one for a new video.
I'm on day 2 out of, I think it's 6.
I
but
haven't
all the
started any
pieces.
of the days. How do you guys have so much free time?
Not doing my job.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true, I guess. Anyways, so what has been your favorite thing in Shadowlands so far that you've done?
I don't know.
For me, I don't really have favorites. I just kind of like enjoyed the whole experience. It's like, that's neat, I guess. Some of the
Wow.
quests were kind of boring.
What made you the most?
Some of the
I mean,
quests
that's
were
all
kind of
quests,
boring.
really.
Nuh-uh, Venthyr storyline was pretty good.
The one that
What about
they
the
do half the story.
Maldraxxus? Wasn't that great?
Maldraxxus was
The very part where
pretty decent.
when you enter in and you're in the middle of a mosh pit, like, oh, come on.
I think it's so much better if, like, I didn't do all the side quests. That's probably why I enjoyed Venthyr the most, because I only did the main quest. For like the other 3 zones,
Yeah,
I did
doing-
every single side quest, which kind of ruins the story.
I only did that in Bastion. After Bastion, I just couldn't be bothered to do the side quests anymore.
Dude, some of the side quests in
didn't.
Ardenwald are terrible.
I did like a couple of them in Ardenweald, and then I stopped. And then I messaged Fel because I was worried that I like wasn't gonna hit 60. He's like, "Yeah, just do 1 or 2." And I thought he meant like 1 or 2 like entire side quest chains
Uh-huh.
instead of just like 1 or 2 side quests. And then I hit 60 at like chapter 2 of the Revendreth story. I'm just like, well, I'm here now.
I hit 60 within like the first couple of quests in Revendreth.
Yeah, that's like, even I was doing it out of war mode,
Yeah,
so
was
like I didn't even have that bonus on.
Yeah, I don't do war mode.
Yeah.
War mode's dumb. Oh yeah, what about you,
guys
Fel?
were bored. So I played a lot of beta because you got me in at alpha day 1, so I've played a lot of the game before like it's even come out.
That's true. You have been
my
in since
favorite
like the
thing is
beginning.
my favorite thing still is the abomination factory. It's so good being able to customize and build your own bodyguards to help you out in the world.
I know that.
Especially since I like the world PvP here and there. Yeah,
SMH.
and like helping with world quests and stuff is so good. And like one of them, for example, Flytrap, which I'll be able to get soon. I think I need to just do a little bit more farming. Allows you to mount faster than a normal mount. I think it's 280% speed compared to 220. It's so good.
Whoa.
Also
But
has
Fel,
its own
what
HP.
about Kevin?
Kevin is also very nice, but sadly you can't get Kevin as an abomination to follow you.
That's true.
Why
But Kevin's the best.
Kevin is great. He's a party slime. He's adorable.
It's like a little party hat, and then like has a plate on his back that like has cake on.
Yeah.
He's great.
Kevin's great.
I think I vaguely remember.
But yeah, the
that.
abomination factor. Don't we?
He's
The abomination factor.
Plague Divisor Marilith like slime companion thing.
Yeah. The Abomination Factory does look cool.
We have that as number 1 on the it's coming in Shadowlands, right?
Yeah, I need to make a an alt who will pick that zone so I can dig into it.
Yeah. I think by the end of the expansion, I definitely want to have one class that has each thing, so I can like go through each of their stories.
Yeah, I need to do that too for footage. I'm gonna have my druid go
Meldrax's
Ardenwald,
can't pick.
and then 2 of my other alts just go Maldraxxus and Bastion randomly.
Yeah, my next classes after my paladin finishes up, or not my paladin, my death knight finished up, is gonna be a paladin because they're another good tank, and I don't want to play warrior, but I want to play tank. So
Ew, paladins, gross.
I agree, but they're really good.
I don't really play alts, so I don't really. I'll play the others. I played them during the beta. I did all the campaigns, and again, Maldraxxus is my favorite. But I'll probably at some point do alts, I guess.
Man, beta, didn't that ruin the experience for you?
No, I did a bit of stuff at the start, which was a bit annoying, and it did kind of ruin a little bit for me because, like, at the very start, you're missing a lot of context and a lot of quests and a lot of stuff like this.
That's
and
true. The beta
it's
had
more
it all like in a
frustration
weird
than
order.
play.
Like when I finally did all the quests for the zones, I was like, this makes so much more sense. Because like the
And then
beta,
when they eventually
like the first one you get is Bastion, which is the first one in there, but then the second one you get is Revendreth, which is the last one. And then like the third
Draxus
one
and then
was
Ardenweald, which
yeah, it was all out of order. So like when I saw the official one in Maldraxxus was the second zone you go to, I was like, that was the last one released on the beta.
and there was entire quest lines changed, cut. There was even quest lines cut. I'd have to go back and look to see if I remember what one. There was quest lines that were like cut and altered and changed, and like so that's why when I originally played during the alpha, it wasn't great. But then once I actually went through again near the about the middle of the beta, it was perfectly fine. At that point, it was like, okay, yeah, this feels like a fair experience. Of course, you miss the context of the cinematics, but it tells you like, oh, awesome event where this and this happened. So you just sort of get the gist.
Yeah. Like, not having the cinematics, too, really sucked for the beta. Like, they add so much more to the actual context of the game. I was like, oh, I actually know what's going on now, rather than just random bullshit happening.
I mean, if they actually play for you.
Exactly. Why wouldn't they play for
Yeah.
you? If you play
don't
like a
know.
week later than
Sarah
everyone
wanted-
else, they all work perfectly fine.
Yeah. Or if I just, move to a lower pop server and then,
That's true.
there are no issues.
That as well.
I wasn't on the beta, but like the one big moment that I remember is like when Revendreth first got announced and everyone was like jumping out the back of the area where you like first land in there and running across the like random space trying to get to the other zones. Do you guys remember
That's
that?
been cool. That's been cool since
Yeah.
the videos where he was trying to glide around with Death or Demon Hunter and get to the other places.
Yeah.
That's partly why I remember that is because as we were talking, I took a glider off the north of Revendreth and like died, but then was rezzed in Orobos. And like my character, you know how like usually you fall to your death and you just like drop?
Uh-huh.
Like I was just alive and my character just kept flying away as I was just like my camera got stuck, but then my model kept moving.
Yeah.
You didn't die?
Well, I did die eventually.
Oh,
And then it rezzed me at the graveyard in Orobos. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, the area between Orbos and the other places is really messy. Like today, when the servers came back up after the deployment of the new patch for Classic, there was a lot of bugs, constant world server downs, and like I tried to fly to Revendreth, and when I landed, it didn't get me off the mount, and it was still said I was in Orbos, so I logged in, logged back in, and then I was just in a white void out in the middle of nowhere forever until eventually I died and then respawned in Orbos. It was so weird.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I don't experience any of these
After-
bugs.
you
After
don't
the
get on, like-
restart today, I had a couple like world server downs where it didn't let me like log in, but after that, I've had like no issues. I mean, a little bit of lag in one of the winter grasps that I was in this morning, but aside from
Why were
that,
you doing winter grasp?
because the quest this week is for getting 1,500 honor in epic battlegrounds, and I did it yesterday with the normal battlegrounds, and even on horde I went like 3 and like 10. It was really bad. We lost like so many. Then this morning I went 4-0, and it felt so good after just like losing all day yesterday. It was
I need
great.
to do battlegrounds.
What happened? I don't know what happened with Shadowlands, but Alliance is like constantly winning normal battlegrounds but losing epic battlegrounds.
Yeah.
like it's been a thing going on for.
It should be the other way around.
Should, but I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like I did. So I did Mythic last week. I got as much gear as I could, and then I did constant PvP to fill the rest of my slots with 171 gear, which just put me to 181 item level. And I did tons and tons and tons of BGs, like even to the point that I got the memories that cost 1,500 each, and I got to 10,000 honor after all that, and I lost maybe 3 matches out of every
Wow.
single. I did maybe like 30 or 40.
You know, I remember I made a video on like why Alliance always wins Isle of Conquest, which was true for all of WoW until like BFA.
Yep.
Like just before this, I lost
Like
how
before
confident-
this, and then like I get comments on the video like every couple of days. It's like this isn't true at all. I was like, you morons! This was true for a majority of WoW's life until recently. And I'm not even sure why. Like, why doesn't the Alliance win anymore? I forget what they did. They made a change, and then Horde has the advantage now.
Is Isle of Conquest? That's not the. No, I'm thinking of the one with like the walls, and then you like go up. Isle of Conquest is the one with like the airship and the glaives, right?
Yeah.
Airship glaives.
Yeah, I actually did that yesterday, and that was the one of my 3 wins yesterday was an Isle of Conquest. It's because like the meta used to be getting the glaives all of the time, like you have to get the glaives.
Yeah.
And for Alliance that's much closer, like they get the flag to the flag faster. And the meta changed and now it's all about the airship. You just go to the airship and you hammer on the eastern gate and the horde get there. Like I was able to capture the airship flag before the Alliance even got close enough to hit me.
Yeah, but like the glaives are better though.
No, they're not.
I think
Not
they
anymore.
changed the glaives or something.
Probably.
They did balance it eventually. And I forgot what they did. But whatever they did, it made it so the glaive rush wasn't the best thing anymore.
Yeah. Now it's the airship rush.
I think it's just because they didn't nerf the airship, so that would just became viable because they nerfed the glaives.
Maybe. I mean, you still have to like defend and kill the glaives, but if you can kill the glaives,
I mean, that's how it always was. The glaives were always super squishy. It's just no one knew what the hell they were doing, so they never tried.
maybe it's just the people know what they're doing now. Just
I doubt that.
We've got a
many years.
I doubt you expect the average WoW player to learn and use
No.
tactics.
No.
No. They do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they just follow the group.
Yeah, but when enough people in the group know what they're doing, like
Enough people in the group know what they're doing, and they're not wasting their time doing random battlegrounds.
you're probably right, but I don't want to entirely cede this point.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm just talking out loud.
I think it might also be because we have a lot more baseline movement now, with the 50% of players being given a way to move easier with Blood Mirror or Blood Door.
I think
whatever it is. Door,
movement is
Shadows.
slower
And,
than it's ever been, actually.
I mean, mount equipment has given other classes the ability to get the same movement speed as Death Knights and Paladins, but that's on.
That's
Yeah.
on mounts, though, yeah.
Not to mention about
Like,
though,
movement
because,
around,
classes
it's
that
so low compared to what it used to be in Mist of Pandaria.
Well, Mist was like the fastest time in the game.
Like, I remember my priest, who was like one of the slowest classes. I had my little feathers. They would increase my movement speed by 80% for 8 seconds. And they had a 10-second recharge. And today, it's half the movement speed for 4 seconds on 20-second recharges. And it's garbage.
As long as you have the macro so that you place them at yourself instead of letting other people have them.
Yeah, I have a macro. I went most of the game never using it, though. It is a lot more convenient.
The one time that I played Priest, I had to get that macro.
I need to make a video about movement speed increases. Top 10 best movement speed increases in the game's history. Number 10. Actually, I don't even know.
all you playing better be
It's number 10, not the feather, because it's so bad.
The feather sucks. Even with the feather, they were still slow compared to everyone else. Although probably still faster than Warlocks and Death Knights, though. Warlocks just had the ability to cast everything while moving, so they didn't really care about movement speed.
Pretty sure Death Knights and Paladins are currently the wheelchair classes.
Probably.
They're good burst wise. Warlocks have a lot of our mobility is set up, which is annoying as hell. It's good for stuff like arena and boss fight, but when you're actually out in the world doing stuff, or you're in a BG, your gateway and your demonic circle are annoying as all hell to place. And it sucks because if they give us extra mobility, then it's but you have so much mobility already. It's but this is preset mobility. We can't we can't just blink wherever we want. We have to blink to a very specific spot that we set up a bit ago with a spell cast.
Are you saying Blizzard doesn't care about Warlocks?
I mean, I would think so. But at the same time, they broke the Fel Guard back in 7.2 and haven't been able to fix it since. And they also broke the Soul Shards and then brought them back. And then they've been invisible since, even though... So it's a glyph that you pay money for to make, and it has no way to tell you unless you ask somebody else to say, hey, do you see these? And they say, no, I do not see anything above your head. There's a glyph in the game that does something that no one else can see but you, and you don't have no way to tell. It could just be a UI
one
thing.
very small, broken part of the cosmetic side of Warlocks. As for their mechanical abilities...
It's been a thing for 4 years now, and it's apparently intentional because they don't want us to see it in PvP. It's just disabled in PvP, or just tell people hey, if you wear this glyph in PvP, people will be able to see how many soul shards you have. Boom.
I mean, I know that you'd still wear it because you have your whole transmog.
I mean, a lot of PvP.
Those soul shards are part of your identity.
How many soul shards you have.
Those are his favorite things.
I mean, I like them, and I have that glyph on my Warlock as well, but...
I miss the old Verdant Orbs, though. The Verdant Orb glyph was back in... I don't know when it was added, but I remember using it back in MoP, and it gave you the Verdant Orbs that Kael'thas had. Super nice.
Oh, that's neat. I just use my Warlock to do pet battles. Okay, so...
Yeah.
What have you been doing in Shadowlands? I assume you guys have just been gearing out your mains, right?
Yeah, I did a round of Mythic
Gosh.
Zeros with my guild, and our freaking paladin gets like 3 drops a dungeon, and he was
Whoa.
the lowest item level when we went in, and like the highest when we came out of the Mythic Zeros.
I need to do Mythic Zeros.
Luckily, because there was like 2 DKs and the paladin, like he was able to share the loot around, but still, like the drops that he gets on that paladin are god tier.
He should play the lottery. What about you, Fel?
Well-
Is there anything you're not doing in the game?
No, not really. I've been pretty much doing anything. I haven't touched that battle yet because I'm sure you know I'm not really too much of a pet battler. I do it, but I'm mostly
Did you say
more of a
doo-doo?
like, oh hey, I follow. Yes, dude. I follow what's it called? I follow TD pet battle scripts, and not a lot of them are updated yet, so I
Yeah.
don't want to bother.
I just went to
But,
like Zufu
I've been pretty
and
much doing
I uploaded my account, and they gave me a list of strategies for all the Shadowlands things.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that, but strategies are constantly changing right now. It's a bit early. I could
No,
do
it's
that. but
great
I don't
because
want to
like
change it again.
they have the strategies and everything, and they just give you ones that you have pets for already, and then you just
Ooh,
import it.
that's good.
That's what I'm saying. Is that there's going to be ones changing because there's going to be new ones coming out that are more reliable. Because like the current ones on, maybe this one is like a chance to fail, and it's
I don't
this
know.
one's
Like none of the
super
pet battles
long.
seem hard, so like unless they did the guide real badly, they all should be reliable right now. They can
My
probably just
problem
find
is
ones that
that when
allow
you
you to
see-
win the battles faster. That's all.
I just don't have a lot of max level pets. The only time I was able to like do pet battle world quest was in Nashjatar, and that's because you only need like 4 pets for the
Icky and-
entire.
Yep.
and
Inky and the Xandalai
Because
Raptors.
they were like single things.
Valk.
So for that, I just sort of like went to Wowhead and checked the like top comment on each of the pet battles, and they always had
Yeah, that
like
works.
whatever it was that was needed.
Yeah, Icky and Unborn Valk were the big ones for that.
Yep.
You just had those two, and then like just a random other thing.
They're
And
still
that's
then
so
useful.
much easier than having like 10 different sets of like 3 pets all ready for like each of the individual things. When you
Just
can
level
have, like,
everything. It's so easy.
don't want to. Pet
Wow.
battle does not appeal to me.
They're so
I don't
fun,
hate
though.
it, but like I don't find it enjoyable either.
Wait, Fel, don't you love Pokemon?
Wow. Yeah, but Pokemon has its own thing. Like I don't really
Yeah,
like
Pokemon's
the whole thing with
bullshit.
Pokemon for me.
Agreed.
The whole thing for Pokemon with me is that there's a lot more moves per Pokemon. There's the evolution, and that you sort of build a bond with them. Like you have them for a long time, and you level them up, and you evolve them. Where with pet battles, you have so many. There's so many available, and they only have a few moves, and they're very niche on what they can do. That it's you don't care about one specific. Like you don't have a favorite. You have like
My favorite's
Good
the Vengeful Porcupet.
I don't know. I just got one called the Count from Revendreth. He's a little bat with a necklace on.
I bet he
that's
sucks.
I have no idea.
yeah.
I know. I remember when I was walking Hazel through like some PvP pet battles. She said she gets really mad whenever I say they suck. I think that's hilarious.
It's a flying type that has moves from 4 different families.
That could be situationally useful.
I only have it at level 1, so I couldn't tell you its stats at all.
Not as good as the Anomalous, though.
I got Anomalous.
Everybody knows how strong Anomalous is.
I remember that one time you streamed and you just died every time you used Anomalous.
Uh-huh.
That
It's
was
like,
fun.
whoa, that thing's strong. Anyways, let's go on to the last topic.
Topic so soon.
What
is
you-
the last topic?
Let's see. I don't know. I'm just kidding. There's a whole bunch of good ones here. What was your favorite zone?
Revendreth? Is that a question?
Yes.
Yeah. For me, aesthetic wise, I do have to say Revendreth. I don't like how you actually play through it. I love the aesthetic though, because I hate having to constantly wait for the elevators and find the way up, and
Oh yeah, that's
it's
annoying.
so frustrating. But I love how the place looks. It's so good. These gothic,
You
like
clearly,
medieval.
It does look cool.
you clearly are not like an herb or like a minor Because in
mine.
Bastion, like I was trying. Bastion sucks for mining. It is terrible because they have all these like super high cliffs that are like super circular with only like one way up, and you have to run like all the way around this cliff just so you can go up it just to get this like one node. It's terrible.
Why
I
don't you
hate
just
it
vent their teleport up there?
because I didn't
That's
have
where
that
Warlock
option while I
Gateway
was
is for,
questing.
Warlock Gateway works too, and that's great. I love it.
Screw you, Fel Plague.
I will say teleport is super useful for like navigating annoying things or skipping traps in Torghast, but not for like actual
yeah.
movement and raids and stuff. So far, from what I've
The
been
only
doing.
I was doing
I have seen
Torghast
it used
today, and there's
for-
that like one tile set where you have like the 4 different platforms that are unconnected, but they're like up above.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to explain it. I saw it a lot on beta, but like I couldn't use vent through teleport to get across. It kept saying no path available, and I was heartbroken.
They changed that later into the beta. When it first came out, it was an issue, but unless that's what you're.
There was even an anima cell over there that I Oh shoot!
I don't know. I skipped so many traps at the teleport. There was one I couldn't skip because it was like too long, so I had to like run through half of it and then teleport through the other half, and I died like 5 times.
Yeah, the gateway is so great because you can just place it down ahead.
Yeah,
And
but not
also it
everyone's
has
a
longer range.
warlock.
Well, maybe you guys should play warlocks.
No, warlocks are dumb. They don't heal.
Yeah.
Hey, we can heal. That's what Hellstone's Immortal Coil.
Okay.
And Drain Life. And Life
Okay.
And Soul. And
So, what was your favorite
It's
part
a-
of leveling in the Shadowland?
oh, I guess we already spoke about that with Revendreth. Like
Sure,
Revendreth's
Revendreth was the
story
best.
was great.
Yeah. I like the
Yeah.
whole zone of Ardenwald.
Although-
I guess I forgot to say that. But the quests were kind of lame. Unfortunately.
Well, there was that one
Yeah.
side quest where you get to like have the jetpack flying, like the double jump flying
Oh,
from
I
like
hated that.
Mechagon.
Oh.
That was so great.
That was
Well,
so dumb.
Oh, so
The quest itself wasn't great, but the fact that you could use it like across the zone after you were done, fantastic.
When I did the quest,
And I tried to
every
walk
time I
there
tried to click on
today.
something, it would dismount it. So like I couldn't actually get anything.
I mean, yeah, then you just double jump again.
No, like it would.
There is
when I clicked on
actually,
something, it would dismount immediately, so I wouldn't be able to finish collecting it, and I would just fall.
well, that's odd.
It was
That's very odd.
really dumb. It worked when I did the world quest, but it didn't
Yeah,
work
it's
when I was
actually-
doing it as an actual quest in the first time around.
And I don't know how you get it. I don't know if the world quest needs to be up, but you can actually get fairy dust that allows you to use that anywhere in Ardenfield, which is amazing.
That
Yeah, I
sounds
had
cool.
some guildies talking about that.
I wish
Yeah,
I could
I
go
don't know if you
Ardenwald,
guys
but
have
the
to-
ability sucks so much.
Just play a different
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, just
I
do
will
it
do it
for
on my druid. Because the druid ability looks cool at least. It just like fires 10 random abilities. It doesn't seem
Provoke the
useful, but
spirits,
it
you
at least
mentioned
seems
that.
cool, and I'm fine with that.
Convoke the Spirits is annoying in Battlegrounds to play against.
Oh yeah. So,
That seems so cool.
but yeah, the I don't know if you guys have taken a look at engineering, but they have some engineering overall is like the worst it's ever been in this expansion, but they do have some cool items.
I am
The momentum
engineering
redistributor.
just for the
Oh, yeah.
battle res.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Have you actually gotten the wormhole generator yet?
No.
It's super good.
The only thing I use it
15
for
minute
is the battle
cooldown. You
res.
can teleport to anywhere. Dude, you should get the wormhole generator. It allows you to teleport straight to Orbos from anywhere you want, or to any of the zones, even the Maw.
That sounds useful.
Super good. It is very useful. But they got some new gadgets that are pretty cool. So the one that I'm going to talk about, I don't want to talk about too long, is the momentum redistributor boots. So they have a 3-minute cooldown, 10-second
yeah.
duration.
Yep.
When you use them, if you hit the ground while they're active, you will redistribute your fall damage to anything within
Oh yeah, I
range.
saw people doing that.
So yeah, one of the things I've been doing is getting those fairy wings, flying as high as I can, and waiting to see if somebody gets under me in combat, and like going over to them, and then dropping out of the scan landing on them, insta killing them. It's so good.
I saw a YouTube video where the guy was talking about how they're kind of broken right now in PvP.
Well, yeah,
As well,
quite-
most battlegrounds and things, like, they're pretty horizontal and you can't get up above things without, like, hacks and exploits and whatnot. Like some of the epics, like Wintergrass, for instance, you can get up pretty high and just, like, land on people.
yeah, it
Or
doesn't do
if
a
you're
lot.
doing it out in the world.
I guess I'll have to level engineering.
Yeah,
I leveled
You
blacksmithing,
should.
and it was fantastic the first like 2 days when the legendary things were going for like 70, 80k each, and I was like, oh man, I can make money. But the enchanted Elethium bar, oh, it's so expensive. And at this point, the legendaries that like the legendary material things, they go for less than the cost to make them. Like
Oh.
at this point, they're going for less than the cost, like just the vendor items that you need to make the materials to make them.
Oh my
That's how
god.
cheap they are. At least on Area
It's
52.
a buyer's market.
It really is. So if you're on Area 52, get them while they're cheap.
Why would you go on
But-
Area 52 though?
Because that's where my guild is. They
Isn't that
wanted
as
to
bad as
relocate.
Ragnaros?
Like what?
Isn't Area 52 like one of those bad servers like Ragnaros?
No, that's you're thinking of Quel'Thalas and Azralan,
No.
Kel'Thuzad, and Ragnaros. I have a lot of bias against different servers because I've been burned by players from those servers.
Wow. Server racist.
No comment.
Oh, are you going to take advantage of that realm transfer that they're giving for free for people on servers like Area
But
50?
then I wouldn't be with my guild, and they couldn't make me free stuff.
True.
They wanted to move here because it's like a big raiding server, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll follow you.
That is kind of the issue why like it doesn't work. They tried the same thing on Classic and it just didn't work. Is like, why would people do that? Like they'd be ditching their friends and guildies. Of course, some will leave who are just on their own and don't want to deal with it. But
That's
most
what I
people are
do.
gonna be like, well, I don't want to.
I'm always by myself, so that's the kinds of people they have those for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you're in the minority though.
What? Everybody's a solo player. I feel
I
like a
mean-
majority of people are solo players. They're just too afraid to admit it.
I do a lot of things solo, but I still like to be in a group.
You know, I'm just saying what everyone's thinking.
But all like 1% of the player base is thinking yes.
Yes. Anyways. So, what things do you enjoy and what things do you not enjoy about the Shadowlands?
Torghast is the bestest thing
It's pretty cool.
in the whole.
Yeah, it's been great so far.
The chat has been really interesting each time I've gone in to like the Torghast general chat. It's been so different. Like the first time, it was super positive and like helpful, and everyone answering questions, and it was like super wholesome. And then one of my guildies went in there saying like it's all yo mama jokes and like just people shitting on each other.
Yep.
And then like I went in. There was a calling, I think it was yesterday, that asked you to go into Torghast. So I went back in, and they were all complaining that layer 3 was too hard, and I told them like it's not that hard. Like really, it's not that hard.
Isn't
And I didn't
Layer
even
3 the
say
one with the
anything like
vendor?
super like serious or like hard or harsh. And one guy's like, "You're either an elitist or you're just like really good." So like, screw you. And I'm like, "What?
You
Just
elitist.
it's not that hard."
Are you an elitist?
Are you an
I'm not
elitist?
even. I'm pretty bad at the game in general.
Wow, I've been doing
You are a
Torghast as
tank though.
healer.
Tanks do
I know.
healers.
They did say it's easier for tanks, but like
Yeah.
still.
They have like 50% less health when I go in there as disc. I love it. Even though the shadow
Yeah.
has way
And
more options, they just have so much less health that you just clear it faster.
Yeah. Oh my god, frickin' so they gave us back corruption for the other two specs for literally no reason, because for affliction it's instant and it's like they have actual stuff that affects it, like corruption can cause them to have instant cast shadow bolts, corruption does extra damage from their mastery.
I remember that.
But
I remember
Yeah.
because I was using the stupid warlock to get footage of Frog Island for the Halloween video. And they had no spammable AoE or instant cast spells. And I was like, what the hell is this cast time on corruption bullshit? What is this, classic WoW?
yeah,
So I had
they
to like
gave
get
us
off of him and comp on my priest and bring him over there so I could finish the video. Because the warlock was just so bad.
Yeah, they so they gave us back corruption. The issue is that so for demo and destro, it's just horrible. It doesn't increase your damage. It's just absolutely trash. But it still allows you to get corruption powers from Torghast. So you'll constantly get powers like corruption slows, corruption. When something dies, well, you have corruption on it. It has a 5% chance to give you soul remnant.
That's how it is
which
on
are
my
really
disc priest too.
Yeah, it's so bad because it's really good on affliction. It's really good on affliction. But you get on another thing, it's just a dead power because you're never using corruption. You don't even have it in your bards. It's less DPS than just spamming your filler ability. It's
For disc,
horrible.
they constantly give me survivability things, and it's like none of these people are gonna kill me. Like I'm unkillable in here. I need damage, and they just keep giving me like more than half of the abilities are survivability increases, based on like various different heals and stuff, and it's so useless.
The
Might
only
as well be
annoying
dead.
ones that I found as DK was like the death coil ones, because I was going in there as blood, where most of your runic power you want to pump into death strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Although there were some interesting things, like there's one power that if you hit something with death coil, instead of doing direct damage, it does like a 4-second dot, and if they die with the dot on them, they get raised as either a skeletal magus, like from the Azeroth trait, or skeletal archers, like the talent. And that's pretty cool. But you can only have 4 of them at once, and they don't stay with you forever. They just eventually just die.
Oh,
That's not so great.
So they're temporary boosts.
Yeah. But the best one is that turns your death gate into a 10-minute cooldown, and you get one of the 4 horsemen, which are also like your legion followers.
Ooh.
And that power stacks, so you can get multiple of them. If you get it like 4 times, you'll get all
you
4
can get
of
it
them
so
at
when
once.
you cast it all for. Yeah.
Whoa.
I haven't
Yeah,
had
this
this happen to me, but
How come priests don't have anything cool like that? I get a whole bunch of
I'm
upgrades to
pretty
my
sure you guys
mind
do.
control ability. Mind control doesn't even work on half the mobs in Torghast.
Yeah.
just get good.
There's some pretty great warlock abilities that are really cool. There's none that are like super ultra cool, which is really sad, but there is some nice ones. For example, there's a warlock bargain, which allows you to have a chance when you purchase it or accept it or whatever. It has a chance to instantly kill you, but either way, you're gonna get 8 to 12 soul remnants, which is a permanent 8 to 12% intellect for the rest of the run. So you gamble with your life.
Gives you 10 for free.
It's great.
I've gotten one that just gives you 10 soul remnants. I think it's off of like an elite or something.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Have a
a
chance
much
to kill
that's a much higher that's a much lower chance to come. This one is a common, I think.
Oh,
Not a
okay.
common, it's uncommon, I think.
Oh okay.
So it's more often. Yeah. But there's other ones that are really cool. Like for example, Soul Platter, which consumes soul remnants to increase your major demon's damage by a massive amount. So
Ooh.
like when you summon for example, another one is that you have when you summon, for example, the demonic tyrant, it instead summons extras. So I've gotten to the point where I've summoned 5 demonic tyrants at once, which each one extends your demons by 15 seconds. So I'll have my 2 dread stalkers out, and then all of a sudden they'll go from 12-second durations to a minute and a half durations. And I'll have 8 or so demonic tyrants, and I
Do
can
you just have a
keep them up.
demon army with you?
Yeah, it's insane. So, for example,
filling up.
another power that we have is instead of consuming soul shards, your Can of Gul'dan if you're demonology, Chaos Bolt if you're destruction, or Malphite Rupture if you're affliction, they instead cost 10% of your current health. So what I can do is I can sit there and just spam Hand of Gul'dan, and I'll get the 30 imps, and then I'll demonic tyrant, and then I can get another 30 imps and have 60 imps firebolting enemies.
Damn. That sounds cool.
They're really fun. There's nothing like super insane like what mages have where like you can insta-kill stuff. Well,
I ain't got anything that insane on my priest.
I actually did get that like arcane. When you hit something with arcane damage, it turns into an inanimate object.
I want that.
Yeah, everyone
Got
can
that
get
as a DK, and I think I only got it because I got one of those powers like when you hit a creature, it has a chance to like do arcane damage like thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can get it even before that. I've gotten it before.
I keep getting this
And
thing
then
that
it's like,
increases
you know
my
what,
melee
let's try
attack
this
range
out.
by 10 yards. And it's like, I don't melee attack anything.
Oh
ever.
yeah, well that's from a specific rare.
Oh, okay. That
That
makes
it comes
sense.
from. Yeah, it's either that or the like you're immune to silence and interrupts. I think that's the other option that rare
Yep, I get
drops.
that one too. They're all lame.
The 10-yard range is actually somewhat useful if you have Yelther's Power Glove, because then you don't have to run in the melee to set it
Yeah,
off.
I know, but I haven't gotten that a single time yet.
The
Yeah,
saddest
Yelther's Power
moment
Glove.
for me in Torghast was when I got to floor 6 and I was talking to the broker and I opened up my bags and I looked and I realized I had an extra Ravenous Anima Cell, the one that you throw at a non-elite and it kills it, and I hadn't used it.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot, I didn't use this. So I bought a bunch of other stuff. And then I was like, I had the broker still targeted, and I just clicked on the Ravenous Orb and threw it at the broker and didn't realize that was a thing. And then the power he dropped on floor 6 after he's dead?
What?
You get 400 Phantasma.
You killed them. And yeah, that was actually that was a meta on the beta before Torghast got its wings reduced. Was to, like, once you're done with the broker, just kill it to get extra Phantasm to use on the next shops. Which, by the way, what do you guys think of the limited Torghast with 6 wings and then, or 6 floors, and then once we unlock the twisting corridors, 18?
It's
What do
dumb.
you guys think?
6 isn't enough. However, when you're trying to just finish it for a quest, 6 seems like it's too much.
Yeah. Well, what about the 18? Do you think they'll be enough once you unlock
I'd like it if
Yeah.
Twisting Corridors, I think, was like endless and you could go like however long you want. Just because you get to like the stupid number of powers and like can blow stuff up, and that's just fun.
Yep.
It fulfills that power fantasy. Maybe it'll
Yeah.
stop people from going into world PvP and ganking lobies. You don't know.
That's true, it
Maybe.
might.
But yeah, as somebody who played during the beta when they had the 50 floor version, I can definitely say after about 20 floors, it stopped being fun. Like you were one-shotting everything, and it was just explore the map, find the end, and that's it. And you do that for another 3 hours. It was
Yeah.
bad.
As Blood, when I went through it the first time I did layer 3, I was at like 153 item level, and that took me an hour to do just that.
What they need to do is have a greater rift system. And like leaderboards.
Yeah, great respect.
Yeah.
Like they give you a 15-minute time limit. You just climb as high as you can go. Or however greater rifts work.
Yeah.
Oh, you try to fill up that bar, right? That's how that works. Then you kill the boss.
Greater Rift was, there was higher and higher. It was basically Mythic Plus, but you were limited how long you could spend. Actually, it was literally just Mythic Plus, really. When I think about it.
Yeah, that's true. They just have that mode, and they have a leaderboard separated by class or spec. Just like they do it in Diablo.
Yeah.
Class
That's what they
spec,
can do.
Although I
if
feel
you're
like that
grouped
would
up or
be-
solo.
Maybe have it be seeded, because then if you don't, people are going to complain about RNG. Like, oh, I got really bad. I get really bad
Yeah.
powers. Oh, I could
That's
have
true.
They can just have a mode that doesn't give you any powers.
Oh,
I can tell
Gross.
you if as a demonology,
Ew.
if I get the power on the first floor. So there's a power for Warlock stat. We have 3 powers. One that deal with our demons. One increases our pet's damage by 25%. Another that increases its health by 25%. And then a third one, which is an epic one, where it gets 100% increased health and damage. And every floor you go, it gets another 100% of both. However, if it dies or is dismissed, it loses the buff entirely, and then it has to restart. So as a demonology warlock, if you get that on the first floor, you just win. When we got to floor 6,
Ooh.
my pet was able to solo the last boss in maybe about 10 seconds, 20 seconds on its own.
Whoa. I don't have anything like that. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it was really insane.
the brewmaster monk in my guild, he said that I think he was doing it as Windwalker, but he said that when he got to layer 3, the boss the first time, because of the powers he had, he was able to kill it in like 3 globals.
Dang.
I don't know what powers he had. but
Probably reverse karma ones,
Prob.
because that sounds like what it would be like.
it was like, yeah, it was like
That and maybe
3
Touch of Death,
globals.
because Touch of Death is insane right now.
We're nearing an hour now, so we need to wrap this up.
Are we? Oh no, we're only half an hour.
We're at an
Oh,
hour.
wait, we are at an hour.
An
Oh.
hour and 4 minutes. Although I'll probably cut out the
Alright.
intro since you guys said some unsavory things.
What?
Actually, I was the one who said the
Unsavory.
unsavory things.
Savory? No.
I was saying, the forbidden word.
Stinky poop.
Pee pee poo poo. Yeah.
Those
Yeah, you
forbidden
have to-
words, yes.
You have to leave that in. You can't.
No, it's all going away.
Oh.
Okay, so closing thoughts. Do any of you people have things you wish to promote? Any projects you're working on? Things that are coming up?
I mean, we're both working for you, so anything we promote would just be your stuff.
Well, that's why he wants us to talk about it, because of promoting more
Hey,
business.
you guys should go check out the Hirimer Red X channel, and especially the ones that are edited by a specific warlock.
It's more of a joke. No one. We're gonna get like 2 people who will watch this, and neither of them will comment.
Yeah. Me and my mother. That's who's going to watch it.
The only thing I have coming up is personal insight questions for college applications. Also, that's due by Friday, so I really have to get on that.
But you have Shadowlands to play.
I know. I also have a video to edit.
And videos to edit. It's not like you haven't had the video for 3 weeks.
It's true. Yeah. But see, you gave it to me right before I went on that manga binge. And created the giant list of all the villainess mangas that I could find. If you join his Discord, you can find that pinned in the anime and manga channel.
Do you know what the definition of laziness is?
I don't want to hear it because I know that I fit that definition.
Laziness is when you do things for fun rather than what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Hero in your battlegrounds, your Hearthstone battlegrounds.
Exactly. Like I am addicted to Hearthstone battlegrounds. I probably played more Hearthstone battlegrounds in the first week of Shadowlands than Shadowlands.
Yeah, probably. I've seen you doing it. I've seen you on Hearthstone.
I know, it's because like I have it on my iPad, so like I just take a break and lay down and play a game or 2. And then if I lose, I keep playing until I win.
A game or 2?
That's dangerous.
Yep. That's how they get you. Mm-hmm. Like there's all this controversy in Hearthstone about like, you know, their new battle pass and everything. And I have people like messaging me like, "Are you going to make a video about it?" No. The only thing I do is battlegrounds. Like all that crap doesn't affect me.
Yep.
And also I've read that it's not that big a deal anyway. People are just overreacting. I was like, "Oh, you know. Yeah. That's how they are in WoW too." I get it.
Yeah, it's less golden stuff than before from what I've seen, but it's like it's not too much worse.
From what I read, it's actually not less gold. It's equivalent. It's just it doesn't feel like it is.
Yeah.
Because like the math checks out, and I was like, oh, so people are really actually mad about incorrect information. That sounds like people in the BFA lore. Or Sylvanas versus Bolvar. It's like, oh, I totally get it. People getting mad over something that they're wrong about. It sounds like Blizzard fans. Or Actiblizz, excuse me.
Well, no one's the fan of Actiblizz.
Actiblizz. I love how they say that as if it's like, you know, a huge thing against Blizzard. It completely ignores the context of there's a lot of people who really believe Activision is the one who ruined Blizzard. Rather than maybe Blizzard just makes these decisions on their own, you know?
I mean, I feel like there's a bit of both in there.
No, I read like a really good write-up on it. Basically, like before Activision, Blizzard was owned by an even worse company. And that's when they made all the best games. Like, it's not Activision. It's more of that's just how companies change over time. It's just an old company. There's going to be new people who are in charge. And new people do different decisions.
I mean, you could also... I don't know if this has been debunked or whatever or not, but there's the whole idea that it's the more... I don't even know if this... I'm getting sidetracked. I think it was a Steve Jobs quote or something, maybe Bill Gates, I don't know, but it's like the people who rise up in the company are the ones
the advertisers and everything?
Yeah, they're the advertisers and like the business people, not the people who are like in love with like the product and whatnot.
I don't think that really applies, to be honest, to Blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it does either, because like you have Ian Hazacostas, and he was like one of the like original like typers on the websites.
Yeah, he was the one who like called the people who said Cthulhu was mathematically impossible just bad at the game.
Yeah,
he wasn't. Was he even on the team at the time? I'm pretty sure he wasn't until later.
Well, no, not back then. But I'm less saying like he was like a fan of the game, who then got hired. And
yeah, there's still
now runs the game.
There's still videos of him you can find of him doing guides on Zillamon. I remember seeing it recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause, like
and
with
that's
video
funny hearing
games,
him
I don't know if that applies to Blizzard or not.
the way you make money through video games is for them to be fun. Like, that doesn't really apply. They're doing what they think will be fun because in the end, that gets them the most business. Like, our goals align. We want a fun game, and they want to make a fun game because they get more money that way.
Yeah.
As long
So,
as you
like,
can also use those
there's a
like
lot of
psychological triggers.
Yeah, they have lots of psychological triggers and stuff, but, you know, they need to be fun psychological triggers. They can't just increase their metrics if it's not fun.
Yeah, and it also builds bad PR if you don't, do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doing scummy business practices eventually catches up to you, even if it's good for the short term.
I mean, you say that, but
I think people just really want a scapegoat so they can blame it on.
of course,
Yeah, they scapegoat
it's
a
so
lot.
much easier than
That's all they
you
want.
know,
To
figuring
just-
out the actual problems.
And I think it's hilarious because I actually think Blizzard has some of the most fairest monetization models out of all the games I play.
Because
Like-
you play a bunch of
Yeah.
Like, if you want to
hyper-
see some actual pay-to-win games, like, I have some stories for you.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about WoW's like shop, and then they go and play Final Fantasy, where their shop is insanely worse.
Yep.
Like they have more than 10 times the stuff on the shop, including like tons of different mounts, transmogs, all that kind of stuff. It's insane.
I'm gonna stick to my guns and the point that even if it's not as bad as other places, just because it's less bad doesn't make it good.
That's true. Like, that's not a good argument to dismiss it completely. Like, if that was your only argument for, like, why the monetization model isn't bad is because it's not as bad as something else, that's true. That's not a good argument. However,
They've also got the gold.
on top of everything else, it's like, it's really not that big a deal. Like, that also isn't the biggest
like, if
thing,
you don't
too.
wanna
Like, if
buy-
that's your only argument is how terrible the monetization model is, it's like, it's not really.
Yeah, especially with the WoW token, like you can just trade gold in because it makes everything on the store literally just because now that the token's in, what is the difference between something on the store and something on a vendor? One
The-
changes depending on the market. That's it.
I have
Yeah.
some insider knowledge on that I'm not allowed to share. But I wish I could.
Well, then why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Teasing people that I know more than you do.
It's like, I have some things I could totally say about that, but I can't.
I don't have insider information because I'm not a big name WoW YouTuber like Hiruma Red X.
Yeah, get on my level, scrub. It's really not anything that big a
probably-
deal. It's more like, golden game. They totally see the shop token as basically the thing being in the game, because it is. The fact that someone else pays for it is kind of irrelevant.
Did you just say the thing that you said you weren't going to say?
No.
Okay.
But, I guess we should say an outro of something like, well, if you like Yu-Gi-Oh, you should go check out the Yu-Gi-Oh channel, the Dual Logs. If you like D&D, we have the new channel, the D&D Logs, where Selty works at.
Uh-huh.
We have Humor Red X, where I work at it, but I'm sure a lot of you people here on the Azeroth Weather channel know the Humor Red X channel.
And then, of course, there's this channel, the Azeroth
Yeah.
Weather channel.
There's the
Azeroth Weather
Azerothian
channel.
Weather Channel, where there hasn't been an Azerothian weather report in a month or two now.
Yeah, where's DevBot? Is he just like on
DevBot
vacation
dead.
right now?
He's
DevBot,
offline
he's
in the
off
shower.
talking about the dangers of Twitter and how they track your watch time.
He's not wrong though.
He's like, did you know when you scroll through Twitter, they keep track of how long you look at each individual tweet?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like, okay,
Wow, I didn't know
DevBot.
that new movie, The Social Dilemma.
Dude,
on
I was
Net-
watching that and I was like, this is so dumb.
They're not wrong though.
They're not wrong, but they make it seem like such a big deal. They're like, oh, did
a lot
you
of
know?
people freak
Blah,
out
blah.
about
And
the
they have
date.
like these really dramatic reenactments of everything. I was like, oh god.
They're well
I've been recommended
Yeah, a
this
lot.
movie by two separate people who said it was so good. I was like, it's so dramatic.
A lot of people
So
freak out
good,
over
but
the
I'm not
thing
gonna
when they
delete
don't.
social media.
It's so dramatic. It's like, oh, I'm so addicted to my phone, I can't put it down when I get home from work. And it's like, okay.
Putting
have
it
some
down.
problems.
That-
He's like, I use my phone when I
Oh.
need to. The only thing I'm addicted to is junk food and fast food and Hearthstone
Hearthstone
Battlegrounds.
I'm very addicted to my phone. It's a problem.
I don't
Oh,
get
I-
it. Maybe because I'm too
I
old
guess we should
for.
also mention
You're an old man.
I'm too old for these
you're
youngins.
16 years old.
I
old
should mention
man.
what?
What?
Yeah.
You said I should
You're
mention
but I
something?
guess-
16-year-old young man. Right?
Say you are all the time, isn't it? When
What?
people ask what's your birthday.
I'm at least 17 years old.
Oh yeah, I guess the Shadowlands has aged you.
Always smart. The at least clause.
Yes, at
It's a
least.
strong one.
Checkmate, atheists.
Oof. He got us.
Okay, I think we should end the podcast now. Any
But I was
closing
gonna say,
statements?
Didn't we already have like a closing statement and
No.
then we just kept rolling?
What was Fel gonna say?
To say, I hope everyone will, if anyone who watches this likes this, maybe you should do Flying Buttress next, since he's another one of the editors on your channel.
Yeah, we should get Flying
And
Buttress
he
on.
actually, yeah, he has his own actual channel he can push instead of just your own channels.
Yeah, we could
Which, you
talk
know.
to him. He problem is he lives like on this side of the world, so his time zone's messed up.
True, but your sleep schedule is also messed up a bit, isn't it? You go to
No.
bed at like what, 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
That's when I read, though.
True. Reading and talking, what's the difference?
No, they're totally different.
Words. His words through your ears.
No,
Come on.
I have a very set sleep schedule because it makes for good mental health. You should write that down,
Mm-hmm.
Fel.
Yeah, I should write that down. Shit, you're right.
I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I didn't know that. You're right. Shit.
I mean, I don't have the most set sleep schedule, but I tend to be asleep except for like day 2 of Shadowlands before.
Did you guys do all-nighters?
No. The
Wow.
closest I did was I stayed up till 2 and then went to sleep and woke up at 6
Wow.
and then played all day.
I did an all-nighter, but then after that, I've actually been on a good sleep schedule since, which is why I fell asleep like during D&D yesterday. No,
Wow.
2 days ago.
Kids
On
these days.
Sunday.
You missed the session. Like at the very end, they had to fight all these people without any help, and they almost died.
It's true.
Oh no.
But then they
I wish
got
you would
better.
like just firebolt and my cannon blast like I always do. Just firebolt, cannon blast.
No, we
firebolt,
just had
cannon
your
blast.
dude kind of hang out at the beginning, and we just said he was getting drunk.
I mean,
I don't think you even said that. I think you just like sort of pushed him aside and like we never brought up his character.
Well, that's what I do for everyone, so I guess it was just implied.
I mean, his character does like drinking, so
Yeah, he was just getting drunk, and then
Or
probably
just
throwing up a little bit.
He drinks.
Just a little bit, though.
He's a specter. He's a specter. He doesn't get drunk.
He was getting drunk.
I mean, he can.
drink is the question.
He was drinking spectral juice, which affects him normally.
He can get drunk. It's just he's double resistant to it. He's resistant, and then he does a roll, and if the roll's good enough, he just ignores it.
Yeah, when you come back, he'll be poisoned. Okay, I'm going to end the thing now.
Oh, man.
Goodbye. Until next time on this podcast,
Next time.
which definitely has a name because it's totally going to be a regular thing. Wink, wink.